Warm welcome back, grade 3s, to your next maths lesson this week. My name is Les Harwin and I am so excited to be able to share my lessons with you. So settle down and pay attention and listen carefully and watch carefully, and just remember that you can always play this lesson back again at any time if you're confused about anything, or you can then email me on the email address that you see on this slide, grade3@WorksheetCloud.com. So with no further ado, we are going to go on to our next slide, and our focus today is going to be adding and subtracting. We've done some subtraction already, and we've done leapfrog method a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to add on to that with the subtracting in a different way this time, and then we're going to look at ways to add numbers. So firstly, we'll carry on and continue with subtraction. Look again quickly at the words here: leave, minus, take away, subtract, less, and difference. And then of course you know what the minus sign looks like. Just a reminder of the lesson that we did, or two lessons actually, that we did about subtracting, but we used the leapfrog method. And if you remember correctly, we jumped from a smaller number up to the bigger number. So if our example here was 72 minus 23, or for instance I have 72 marbles and I give 23 to my friend, how many marbles do I have left? So the method we used here, we were jumping up to the number, from the small number to the bigger number. And then I taught you an important skill of completing the 10. Do you remember that? And the reason why I said that was important is that when we complete the 10, it's easier for us to then jump in multiples of 10, or numbers that I call friendly numbers, to get to the bigger number. So let me quickly go over this again. So 23 plus 7 is 30. So we've done 7 jumps. Now we can go and jump in 10s, because we don't want to jump in 1s, that'll take us forever. 30 plus 10 is 40. 40 plus 10 is 50. 50 plus 10 is 60. 60 plus 10 is 70. Now when we get to 70, we have to keep remembering, we can't just keep adding 10s. What more do I have to add, grade 3s? There we go. We have to add another 2 to get to our solution of 72. When we have done all our jumps, we now have to add all these jumps that we've done, that we recorded here in red. So we start with the bigger numbers, so that we know we don't leave any out, because that's quite easy to do. So 10, 20, 30, 40 jumps. 40 jumps plus 7 jumps is 47 jumps, and plus 2 jumps is 49. So we hopped a total of 49 jumps, but we went in 7s and then 10s and then a 2 to get from 23 all the way to 72 and to get our answer of 49. So that is now just one way of subtracting. I'm going to share something with you now, and I want you to pay very close attention. Here we have a problem to solve, another subtraction problem, and it is 24 Rand minus 16. So I like to use money a lot because it helps you to put it in real experience terms. So here is my purse, and in my purse I have 24 Rand. I've probably got 2 20 Rand notes and 2 2 Rand coins. I go out and I go and buy myself an ice cream. Okay, the ice cream is 16 Rand. Right, so I think to myself, right, let me split 24 into 20 plus 4. And then I'm going to split 16 into 10 plus 6. But before I go any further, guys, I want you to see how this can trick you up and trip you up when you get halfway through this calculation. So right, what am I effectively saying? I'm saying, all right, I'm going to say 20 from the 24 minus the 10 from the 16. So I'm starting with my tens, and I'm saying 20 minus 10 is 10. Now there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, we have done this section. We've taken the 10 away of the 16. But I didn't just spend 10 Rand. I've also spent another 6 because the ice cream cost me 16 Rand. So now I need to subtract the units. And so here I will be saying 4 Rand subtract 6. And there I've got it there. 4 Rand subtract 6. And some of you might turn around and say, well, the answer is 2. But is it? Let's have a look. I'm going to draw 4 crosses, and that represents the 4 Rand. And I'm going to say, right, what does this tell me I've got to do? It says I have 4 Rand in my purse, and I am going to spend 6 of that 4 Rand. Grade 3s, I can't spend 6 of that 4 Rand. I don't have 6 Rand. I only have 4 Rand. So this method is confusing, and it's not the way to do it. So I'd like you to please don't use this method when you subtract, right? And then, so what some children then do, and I understand that, they then say, okay, fine, I can't take 6 away from 4, so I'm just going to turn around and say 6 take away 4 from 6, but you can't do that because you haven't even got 6 Rand, you've got 24 Rand, not 26 Rand. So that here is a no-no. I don't want you to do this method. You've got to be very careful. And it's all fine if this number is bigger than this number. So if the unit or the ones number in the units column is bigger than the number in this number in the units column, then it's fine to do that method. But from now on, because your numbers are going to be bigger, you're not going to be able to use this method. So I'm going to carry on and show you how to use the similar method as more effectively and more accurately. And it's called lock and split. And it's now you know the name leapfrog. Now I want you to memorize the name lock and split, so that you have 2 different subtraction methods that you can call on to complete your problems. Here we go again. We are shopping. I'm going to do the same problem where I have 24 Rand in my purse. There it is. And I'm going to spend 16 Rand on an ice cream. Right, so what I want you to do is I want you to lock this number. Lock this number, and I often draw a heart because those 2 numbers are happy with each other and they want to stick together. And then we are going to split this number. I'm going to split this number, and I'm going to call this number 10 and 6. I'm going to subtract 10 first, so I do it in 2 separate stages, much easier than subtracting 16 all at once. Right, let's go ahead and let's see how this works out. So I've got 24 Rand in my purse. I'm going to subtract 10 of the 16. I spend 16 on an ice cream. I'm going to subtract 10. So 24 subtract or take away 10 is 14. So what have I done effectively? I have subtracted the 10. What have I got left to subtract? I've got to now still take away the 6 part of the 16, because I didn't just spend 10 Rand, I spent 16 Rand. So what have I got left? Okay, I have now got 14 Rand in my purse. There it is. What have I got left? 14 Rand, not 24 now. So I'll go and I've got 14 Rand and I've still got it minus 6 Rand. So 14 minus 6 equals 8 Rand. Well done. So what do I have left in my purse now? I have got 8 Rand left in my purse. So the answer to this problem is 24 minus 16 equals 8. Now you can see how accurate that is. Makes much more sense. And that's calling, what's it called again? It is called lock and split. Lock the first number, split the second number. You can't go wrong. I'm going to do another one now, slightly bigger numbers. And there again, we're sitting here, we've got 72 Rand and we spend 36 Rand. So in my purse, I'm starting off with 72 Rand and I'm going to do lock and split to solve this problem. So meaning that I am going to keep 72 locked. I'm going to keep 72 locked together. And I often draw a heart because they don't want to be separated. And then I'm going to take away the 30 of 36. So I'm splitting 36 down the middle. And I'm calling it 30 and 6. I have not changed the value of that number. I've just split it into 2. 30 plus 6. So let's go with that. So we're going to go 72. We've locked that number. Minus 30 equals what is 72 minus 30? Equals 42. Absolutely right. So what have I got left in my purse now? I've subtracted 30 Rand. So now I have got 42 left in my purse. I have now completed taking 30 away, but I've still got to take away 6 because whatever I bought is costing me 36 in total, not just 30. So I've got 42 Rand in my purse. I now need to subtract the 6. And what do I have? I have the 42 minus 6 is, right, 36. Super dupes. So now I have 36 Rand in my purse. In other words, it's 36 Rand is left over. There was your lock and split again. Right, let's have a little look at addition now. We haven't covered that so far. So there are two different ways I'm going to show you today. They're quite similar. The first one is if you want to add numbers, you can add them in their family. So you can split each number up into hundreds, tens and units, or tens and units, depending if it's 2 or 3 digit numbers you are dealing with. So let's have a look at this. So over here on my slide, there's my hundreds, so that would be in my hundreds column, the tens in my tens column, and the ones in my ones column, or my units column, and I call this the number family. So we're adding all the numbers in the hundreds family together. Then we add all the numbers in the tens family, and then we add all the numbers in the one or units family, and then we mix them and add them all together to get a final total. Let's have a look at this example. Okay, we have 37 plus 45. Right, and this method I'm going to use where the method that we are going to use where we add in families, add in number families. So that's another name that you need to keep in that little heads of yours, guys. So let's go. We're going to add the tens first. There is 30 and there is 40. Let's add the tens first. Right, 30 plus 40 equals 70. So effectively, what have I done? I have added my tens together. Just remember, grade 3, this 3 is not 3. It is 30. Its value, as we talked about before when we did place value, its place value determines what its value is. So if it's in the tens column, it's not just 3, it is 30. And the 4 here is not just 4, but it is 40 because it is in the tens column. So now I have to add up my numbers in my units family. And let's go ahead with that. So it will be 7 plus 5 equals, well, what's 7 plus 5? 12. Cool. So what have I effectively done? I have now added my 7s and my 5s. I've done all my adding. I've just got one more thing to do. I now need to total these up because initially I split these numbers. Now I need to add 70 plus 12 to give me my final solution. There we go. 70 plus 12 equals 82. So what's my final answer? 82. So there's my adding in number families, which is really nice and simple because it's understandable and it makes common sense. We just have to think carefully before we decide what method we're going to be using. Right, my next example is I'm going to be using 3-digit numbers now, and I'm going to be splitting, adding my numbers in my hundreds family and my tens family numbers and my ones family numbers. 146 plus 129. Let's start with adding my 100 plus my 100. Remember, this number is not have a value. It doesn't have a value of 1. It has a value of 100 because it is in the hundreds column. Okay, let's go ahead. 100 plus 100. I've got to squish these up a bit. Equals 200. Now I have added my hundreds up together. I've done my hundreds. Now I've got to do the numbers in the family, from the family in the tens family. So I'm going to add 40 plus 20. There's my tens. 40 plus 20 equals 60. Effectively, I've now added all my tens. Families get added all together. And my last thing I need to do is add my units, or my ones. So 6 plus 9. 6 plus 9. This is so nice to do it when it all works out, when a plan comes together. Isn't it true, grade 3s? When you understand what you're doing, it makes maths so much more fun. And the answer there is 15. Now I haven't finished everything yet. I can just cross those off and say I'm systematically doing my maths problem one step at a time. And that's what we need to do in life, is everything one step at a time. And then we find the solution eventually. So what did we do, grade 3s? We found these answers here. We did the answers in 3 steps. We added hundreds, then we added tens, and then we added our ones, or our units. So we added our numbers in their families. So we got then, we're going to add these up now to total them. So 20, I'm going to put my 20 down there, plus 60 equals 260. But I've got to now still add my plus my 15, which gives me the answer of 275. That's using the method, adding method of adding my number families together. And then there's another way we can do this as well, grade 3s, and we can use the train method, which I'm sure you know very well. And that's just another way to add. So if you remember that, you've got your family numbers to add in families, and then you've got your train method. And when we do our train method, we are going to lock this number. So we're going to start with 123. Let's say I've got 123 stickers and I get another 135 for my birthday. Right? I'm now going to start with the number 123 and I'm going to add on my hundreds, then my 30, and then my 5. So I'm going to add on in 3 different steps. Right, and here they are. I'm going to be adding 100, then I'm going to add 30, and I'm going to add 5 onto 123, which I have locked. So here we go. 123 plus 100 is 223. So I have effectively now added my hundreds, or my 100 from the hundreds column. What do I need to do next? I need to now add my 30. Step number 2. So 223 plus 30 equals 253. Effectively, what have I done? I've now added 30 out of 135. My last thing to do now is just to add my units or my ones. And so here we go. 253 plus 5 is 258. And there you have it. I've now subtracted 100 and then 30 and then 5, and I got my answer of, I didn't subtract, I added 100 plus 30 plus 5, and I got the answer 258. So to sum up, we have a leapfrog method in subtracting, and then we have lock and split in subtracting, and in addition we have adding in family numbers, or numbers in the family, and then we have the train method. So if you can just remember all those grade 3s, I think it's going to help you a lot to actually know how to approach these problems. And as the numbers get bigger, you can still use these methods until you're taught different methods as you go up in the school. So I hope this is helpful. When this is finished, you can go onto WorksheetCloud.com and there will be a worksheet for you to complete, and then you can use the memo or the answer sheet to answer the calculations at the end. Thank you for joining me again, and I will be seeing you tomorrow. Have a lovely day, stay safe, be kind to one another, and show each other lots of love, and help at home. All right, and sending lots of love, grade 3s. Ciao for now.